Hey everybody, welcome back inside the stash. Today we're going to bring you another one of the acquisition, what's in the box style videos that we do here. This is going to be a little, I don't know how lengthy it's going to be necessarily, but it's a little longer than a normal one would be, as these represents basically my last big Hobbyland Japan order for the end of 2017. A lot of the stuff has been sitting over there for about 2 months or so. And it also represents pretty much my purchases for going forwards for a little while here as we try to find some sort of employment that'll fit into my schedule. I didn't quite realize how niche my schedule was as far as the job that I had and fitting it into the time frame. Because when I took the job, the time frame really wasn't an issue, and it became one since I took the job, and now that I'm not working, it has become a very near to impossible thing to find another position that fits in the same hours. So I really would rather not work until summertime when my kids get out of school and I can get a job with a regular schedule. And then in the fall, we talked about this a gajillion times about my kids and their school schedules. In the fall, they'll all be going to school at the same time, and it doesn't matter when I start or end work, as long as I'm like in the vicinity around 8 o'clock in the morning to get them on the bus. So, all hoping well. Become one of those things where I just take something to sort of just keep the bills afloat. We're good as far as finances go, just in general. But it'd be nice to have my money because that's the money I play with, basically. So, at any rate, like I said, there's a couple of things I got here from Buyee. The rest of it is probably in Japan. We'll spin the camera around and hope you enjoy it. Alright, so first up, we have this. You guys watch these what's in the box videos, and this is no stranger to my kit collection. I actually picked up 2 more of these. The Hobbyland Japan box will give you a little more insight into why we've been stocking up on these when we can find them real cheap. I don't usually pick these up unless they're around the $25 mark, which I know people wouldn't believe me that they are this low, but if you buy them via Yahoo auctions in Japan, for some reason this particular one, the Jägermeister kit's a little hard to come by for some reason, or at least a little harder to come by at a reasonable price. These, I think because they're old and the decals are pretty much shot in all of them, tend to sell for, like I said, $20, $25. You see them go for a little bit more here and there, but for the most part, I've paid somewhere between $15 and $20 for all 7 of these that I have. And like I said, I have now, the decals have come in to do, I think, all 7 of them, not counting doing one this way. If I can piece together all the decals to make one of this livery that's the box art car came with. So, like I said, 2 of those, nothing spectacular there. I'm not going to show you the other one because, well, you've seen enough of them at this point. The other thing I picked up, and this was sort of an off-the-wall purchase, it popped up. I followed it for the better part of like a month and a half, debating buying it. And eventually I pulled the trigger, and it's one of those, this is a resin kit that, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have spent the money. I like the kit for what it is in the sense of the subject matter, although it's just not a very... how should I put this? It's not a very up-to-date modern resin kit. And that is this. This is a resin kit from a company called CGM Modelo, which is a Japanese resin company. They're technically not in business anymore, at least not in the resin casting side of things. They have combined with Model Factory Hero to do livery for the 488 GTE cars to make them into Super GT cars for 2016 and 2017. This is an older kit that obviously is a Ferrari 458 GT2 that is for Super GT, which is what the SGT is. The Super GT thing, we've talked about this in the past, is very, very, very stringently licensed over there. So that's why this is just sort of a blank car and everything is abbreviated. It's pretty much a great big brick of resin, and I'm not even trying to be funny about that. It's more or less a 458 GT. I mean, it's probably, this is probably, and I'm just saying barely, easier than converting the actual kit into the Fujimi kit. Like, this is your chassis, right? So it's just a blank, literally blank piece of resin that's about, I don't know, a ½ inch thick, and it has these wheel arches that are pre-drilled for metal axles, and then it's got an interior to it, I guess you want to call this thing. This is the body, which really isn't too bad. These are already like sort of pre-cut, but they left them in there, I think, to keep the thing from crushing in shipment. So you have to cut out the wheel arches. Not a big deal there. And overall, I mean, it's not a bad casting. It's a little thick, which is something I've noticed about Japanese resin. If you get the modeler stuff, their stuff's really thick resin too. The back bumper is a separate piece that on initial inspection didn't look like it was going to fit at all, but actually after fiddling with it for like a few seconds and not even like fiddling with it sanding or anything, just fiddling with it trying to figure out how it fit together, it actually fits really well. You can see here how thick these inner wheel wells are, and I mean this thing nominally fits into here in the sense of, you know, kind of, sort of, maybe. It's not the worst resin piece of kit I've ever seen, but it's certainly by no means Playmos, Zoom On, C1, or, well, any modern 8181, any modern resin company stuff I have. So there, it has the body. It comes with some tires. It comes with this baggie of things, which, among other things, has a racing seat, a racing steering wheel, the rear wing, some racing brakes, for lack of a better term. The mirrors are in here as well. This is basically a bulkhead to build the engine compartment with. And I'm trying to think what else is in here. A few other odds and ends. The wheels are like a white metal. And from what I could see, there's 3, unless there's a 4th one rolling around in here. I didn't see, let's see, 1, 2, 3, let's see, 4. Okay, for a while I didn't think there were enough center hubs. There are 4 center hubs, so at least that's there. When I first opened this, I thought there were only 2. It comes with some sort of CD-ROM. I'm assuming this is reference shots of the real car. I haven't put it in my computer to see if it even works, because it's obviously made in Japan. I would assume it works, but there's a whole regional coding thing sometimes with CDs that it you know, may or may not work. It may also be instructions on how to build the car, but I'm assuming it's reference shots of the actual Jim Gaynor car. It comes with also the decal placement guide, which is pretty, you know, self-explanatory. And then, for some reason, 2 sets of decal sheets. And it's not like they're 2 different sets. They're the same decal sheet, just 2 of them. So I guess, if nothing else, at least I have backup decals. This makes the Jim Gaynor Motorsports Zona-sponsored Ferrari 458 GT. This is the car that came after their 488 GT3s. So, or not 488, but after their 430 GT kits that I have the decals to do as well. This is the car that was before the Audi R8 and the Mercedes-Benz SLSs that Fujimi ended up actually making kits of themselves. The instructions for this are all in Japanese. It says transkit for Fujimi. No, it's more of a kit of its own. I have not gone through here and translated this, because I have, you know, obviously Google Translate on my phone, and it'll be enough to sort of basically figure out what's going on here. But you get the gist here. You cut off those wheel wells, you fit the rear bumper, you build up this interior type area. I think the airbox and some of this stuff comes with it. You need the base engine out of a Ferrari 458 Fujimi kit for the engine part. Basically, you know, you're building up a vague area here, put the brakes in the wheels, glue the front splitter on, glue the rear splitter on, put the tires on. It gives you some glass here. I'm not even sure what we're pointing out here, and then this is basically gives you your rolling chassis. This kit, from the guy who sold it to me, comes with a couple of, whoops, I'll put this in here right so I don't mess it up any more than it already is. Sent me several sprues of the 458 GT Fujimi kit, which is great because I don't have one. Basically, this is the interior runner, the engine runner, and the clear parts. And I'm assuming that I can use like the headlights and the taillight covers, the clear parts, but beyond that, I really don't know what I can use from the kit parts without going into, one thing you'll notice that is not included in that is any kind of roll caging. So I will have to scratch up a roll cage. I'm thinking maybe I can use most of the roll cage of a 430. I know it's a different roof line, but we'll see. I'm going to definitely check that as something to test fit before I get too overly worried about building a whole new one. Might be able to cobble something together out of that. And then we go over to the HobbyLink Japan box here. In the detail and accessory stuff, I always do that first. I have these. These are the new set of orange wheels, the forged plating. These also come in an unplated version. These are a, I believe there's supposed to be a 6, 17, 18-inch wheel, depending on which depth wheel lip you use. Obviously, you could do staggered that way, 17 on the front, 18 on the back, but you see, they're designed to basically the wheel, you get a wheel center, and then you get 2 wheel lips, so one's 17s, one's are 18s. This also comes with a chrome steering wheel, the universal hubs with 5, these are 5 lugs instead of all the 4 lug wheels I've been doing recently. And it's just basically a scenario where you can use their chassis, or you can use these adapter plugs where you just sort of plug it under the side of the kit and then, make it work. Or, again, you could just, go for either a male or female fit, whichever way you need to go. I only picked up one set of these, as I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with these, but they were a wheel that sort of piqued my interest enough to go grab one. Something that was on sale around Thanksgiving was this. This is the Hobby Design 360 Spider detail upset for the Tamiya kit, obviously. Obviously, there was a Ravello Germany 360 Spider, but obviously the Tamiya one, since it says 4T up here at the top. I have the other one for the Modena, and I really didn't feel like spending as much as I wanted for these kits, or for these photo etch sets, but like I said, it was on sale. I think I paid like $12 for it, which was a good price for me as far as I was concerned. Also in the try to see, everything else I think is for kits. I also picked up one of these. I've been wanting one of these for a while. This is the anti-static cleaning brush that Tamiya makes. They also make a smaller, more like inline one. You see right here, a one for doing like your door edges and stuff like that. But this is a... well, actually, the mini brush is on the other end, isn't it? Yeah, alright, well then they're both in there. Huh, what do you know? I just realized this cap with mini brush. I thought it was a separate thing. But anyway, these are basically for dusting. You see a lot of people at contests with these because it's a very easy, peasy way to clean off your models when you display them. As it will just sort of stick the static to the brush, and it's a very, very, very smooth brush. I don't know how to describe it without making it sound bad. It's a very smooth and sensual brush for your model. But basically, rather than rubbing it off with a cloth and risking knocking mirrors and antennas and things off like that, you just brush it off, and that takes the dust off. And then the rest of these are detail upsets for kits that are also in the box here. So we have two more sets of this. This is the Hobby Nunu detail upset for the BMW M6. This is the brand new photo etch set that just came out for the 240 RS Rally Safari Edition, the new 240 RS kit that just came out. You got photo etch, you have an antenna, your air jack, some decals for the mud flaps, and a few other things, as well as obviously the big fret of photo etch in the back. And then I have 2 of these, which are the new photo etch detail upsets for the Volvo 240 RS, or 240 Turbo rather, Group A car. So again, you have the air jack, seatbelt material, and then the fret of photo etch. And that takes care of the detail stuff. Now we'll go over to my personal favorite, the decals, as people like to call them, the decals. Excuse me. On sale, and I need one set to replace the set I'm currently using to build the Macau car. This is another set of the SLS AMG GT3 cars. This is the older Fujimi SLS. Again, I'm using a set right now, so this is a replacement. I do have 8 more SLS kits to build and only like 2 more sets of these decals, so this was on sale for like this is normally a $28 set of decals. It was on sale for like $13, so I grabbed that. I grabbed 3 sets because I have, well, more than 3, but I grabbed 3 sets of these, which are the new, brand new carbon fiber decal sheets for the AMG GT3, the Tamiya kit. You notice these are 4,000 yen, which is $40, but they're really like 32. You know, actual price. And these are, like I said, for the new Tamiya kit. I love this part down here where you have to carbon fiber each individual part of the grill teeth. That'll be like about 16 hours of work just right there in the grill teeth. So this is a double-sided instruction sheet. So there is more instructions on the other side. You'll notice this is 2 sheets of decals. This is 1 sheet, and then there's a whole another sheet behind it. So basically, looking at this here, this is mostly the interior. Oops, I went out of focus. There we go. This is mostly the interior. This is basically the top of the deck, the top of the back panel, and this is the bulk firewall will go, you know, behind the driver's seat. The interior panel, there's some of the front lip stuff here, parts of the, this is more parts of the interior, and these are the door panels. This obviously back here is the wing and the winglet ends, and then all of the rest of the things like the splitter wings and all that stuff is on the other one. And there's a small little sheet for all of these little teeth. On the BMW M3 side of things, or M6 side of things, excuse me, I picked up 4 sets of decals for that. This is the M Technic sheet that was used in the European Touring Car Championship in 1983. It's a very, very basic set of decals. And then we have the Spa Franker chips, as I call it, or the 24 Hours of Spa, basically. The 1984, the Worth livery for the 635 again. So there's that set. And then I have the 1985 STP sponsored Hardage. This is the car that actually ran the entire 1985 Japanese Touring Car Championship Series and actually won the championship that year. It finished 3rd in the Intertech race itself, behind the 2 Volvo 240s that the delivery for which is in the box straight from BMAX. So there's that. And then the next year they were also back with the STP car. This is the 1986 Intertech version. They did not do so well in 1986, both in the Intertech race. I think they finished 5th or 6th, as well as the actual season. They also did not have another repeat winning season, but there is that livery there. So that's 4 sets of 635 decals, and then we have the Gia Race, the Gia Race and Macau decals, which I think I still need to order, but that's definitely one of the ones I want to do. And then I have the Australian car, the JPS ones, as well as that ETCC set I picked up from that company over there in the Czech Republic. So we have 7 sets of decals, 7 cars, so it's all good there. And then last but not least on the decal side of things is the number 29 AMG from the 2016 Nuremberg race. This is the most recent set of the decals from Studio 27 for the new Tamiya kit. This is the, second place car, I think it is. So there's that. You paint this, it looks like black on here, but this is actually the slate gray, the metallic matte flat, well that's repetitive, the matte gray that Tamiya either puts in the TS100, of course Gravity Colors offers it, and that's what this car is supposed to be, not this sort of blackish, dark gray, NATO black color they have the instruction sheet on. And then we go to model kits from here. Really not a lot because most of this is all one thing. We finally got our shipment in for the new Hasegawa Honda Civic RS 3-door hatchback, the 1974 version. We've talked about this when we just did the last status report video, where there are 15 pieces in this kit you don't use, so obviously more Civics on the way. That's no surprise there. Hasegawa always going to give you at least 2-3 revisions of every kit. That's how you sell kits and make the tooling viable, is you sell several thousand of each variation, and that gets you up to your total to amortize the tooling. So there's this from Aoshima. We picked up both of the new Toyota NCP 160Bs. This is the Pro Box. This is the commercial van, basically. Everything is black. Door handles, mirrors, bumper inserts, steel wheels. Again, more of a commercial application than an actual passenger application. You do get these little rain guards, which I think are a little bit much for a commercial van. And then again, your back bumper also black, not color keyed. It has a sister kit in the line that just also came out, and that is the whoops, it's upside down. The NCP 160B Succeed. This is the more civilian-owned or just a regular van. Their painting of this, I think it's right on the... Nope, it's not. Well, at least in the pictures I've seen of these in real life, the door handles, the mirrors, the bumpers are color keyed to the car, and these are hubcaps. There are actually hubcaps in the kit too. If you've seen over at Feedin's Garage, he did a review of, I think, both of these, but this one especially. And the steel wheels are in here, and these are legitimately hubcaps rather than being wheels. So it's kind of a neat touch if you wanted to build one of these with a hubcap off, or throw a hubcap on one of the other ones for some reason, just to change it up a little bit and not have it be completely perfect, if in the sense of factory fresh out of the factory stock kind of thing. So there's that. Both those are curbside, obviously, I would dare say. You saw we got two of the detail sets. So we got two more of the M6 GT3s. These were actually the original two I ordered back in the day, a year and a half ago when these were announced. Actually, I ordered a dozen of them back then, and then I realized that was preposterous. And I also was not working when they were supposed to come out a year and a half ago. And so I cut the order down to two, and I just sort of carried the order of two along because they went on order stop. You couldn't order any more for a while. And the one I already have that I've shown you months ago is the one I got from Hobby Easy from Hong Kong. So they obviously they came into Japan right around the same time the AMG GT3 kit came in. So I finally got my other two. My plans for these are one each of the box stock cars, because you got the 99 car that actually won the race, and then you have the 98 car that finished like 41st or something like that because it wrecked out. For some reason, everything in here is sitting all cockeyed and it doesn't want to sit in the box. It's annoying. Everything rattled around, and there we go. Now the box fits. And then worked with Frankie over SK Decals to do the the conversion for the 2016 Macau race. Those decals, I think he said they're going to come out next with all of the other GT3 cars that he's working on. Right now, he just released 5 sets of decals for the older Tamiya Ford Sierra, which I know is sort of an odd choice, but be that as it may, that's what he wanted to do, and so that's what there is. Also, I guess technically these are for Aoshima in the long run, but they're the Bell kits. The new Bell kits Volkswagen rally cars. This is the 2015 Monte Carlo winning rally car. This has a new body and several other pieces in it that basically work on the old Polo kit that they came out with in 2013, but has been updated to the 2015 body style, and obviously the Red Bull decals for 2015. You get photo etch pieces in here. The night race pieces are in here. I'm not sure there's anything on here that shows the night race pieces per se. Gravity Color sells the blue, and the decals will do everything else. Well, they sell the white as well, but white's white as far as that goes. So there's that. There's also a sister kit to that, which we picked up, and that is this. This is the 2016 World Rally Championship car. Pretty much the same kit. There might be a few differences. I really haven't sat them down and looked at them piece by piece. Obviously, they're still factory sealed. This is a weird thing about Japanese kits and Japanese retailers. Stuff that is foreign, technically Bell Kits is in Belgium, so they send the kits over to Aoshima factory sealed, and Aoshima puts their label on over top of the Bell Kits logo. You also know you'll notice that as I put up Japanese kits up here, they don't have plastic wrap on them because in Japan they don't shrink wrap their model kits. However, if we get their model kits in the United States from like a hobby shop, they're of course shrink wrapped. So go figure how that all works out. But anyway, this is the winning car for the 2016 Monte Carlo Rally. Keep those in mind as we start talking about what to expect out of the Nuremberg Toy Fair this weekend. And then basically 4 more kits here. This is the new B-Max Nissan 240 RS rally car for the 1984 Safari, Kenya Safari Rally. We talked about this when this car comes out. We're going to have to wait around until probably Taboo Graphics does some decals to upgrade the factory decal set here, because all of the Marlboro logos and chevrons and everything are missing off this car. In addition to there being a Marlboro logo here, a Marlboro logo here, Marlboro logos here, there should be great big words of Marlboro on the hoods and the roof and right here in the door panel and stuff like that. So if you want this to be legitimately to look like the real car rather than this goofy tobacco-less version that they issued, we're going to have to wait until somebody puts out some supplemental decals for that. And then also on the B-Max World Tour here, we got the new Volvo 240 Turbo. This is a brand new tool kit. Would love to have this Rover that's in the background here. This is legitimately like the English motor car company Rover, rather than it being like, you know, just some odd name of something I'm coming up with. This was the Watson's car that year in 1986, so foreshadowing be nice, but I don't know if that's really something that you could justify tooling up. I don't know, there's enough of these out there otherwise, because you have 4 liveries in this box, 2 on the actual Macau race. This livery right here is the winning race for the Gia race of Macau. And then you have this set of decals in here as well. And this is the 1985 Intertech. Remember, we just looked at BMW logos liveries for it. This is the winning car for that race. BMW finished 3rd. There are 2 sets of decal, 21 and 22, and this is a 1 and a 2. So a 1 and a 2 and a... So, you know, team cars. This is all Eggenberger Motorsports as far as the team that raced them. So 2 of those, because we're going to do 1 basically of each livery. I couldn't justify buying 4 of them right now. And then the last thing we got was a dozen, 12, of the AMG GT3s. Those were the original dozen that I ordered. The 13th one, the one I've had for a little while, is the one that I bought locally because we got them here in the United States a little earlier than they did in Japan. I'd put them up here, but you know what they look like. So here's a picture of what 12 look like. And that, guys, will cover it for this video. So we hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys on the other side.